Hello everyone, CryptidPrincess here, and welcome back to Dissolving. And this shit. I screamed. I run to the phone and take out the SIM, throw it on the floor and crush it. I put the remnants with some paper in a cup and set it on fire. It smells terrible, but I don't care. There are only ashes left. I throw them in the trash duct. I get rid of my PC along with all its data. I'll start collecting work materials from scratch on a new PC. I wanted to throw the money away, but I'd rather donate it to the church. Don't! The next day, my reflection was back to normal. A day completely offline, but after a few months, I think I'm ready to return to Twitter. I even created a new account at myendless_song0. After everything that happened, I know this is silly, but I miss talking to my mutuals. I miss having a place to share my thoughts and get feedback. In the end, I forced myself to go to the funeral. A sight as pitiful as his last years. Not sure if I'm going to visit my ex's grave. You didn't click on the monitor. Wait, is that the end? What? End of the first scenario. There is more than one? Okay, hang on. I didn't know. Hang on. Can I... What bitch? Bitch. I'm confuzzled. Can I click on other stuff? Because there was no indication I could. I'm confuzzled. Can I... What is this game? Yeah, hey, buddy. So I hit the monitor. Achievement unlocked, hunting a god. Full screen, please. Thank you. Okay, I was always into things that are different. Not exactly weird, but different. Outside of common understanding, outside of the norm. This yearning led me through my life. I'm so confuzzled. If what's happening to me now can even be called a life, because of my interests, I became an anthropologist. Because of it, I found my wife, and it stayed with me even after things fell apart. Everything was fine at first. I studied culture and psychology of certain people from medieval times. The subjects I chose were so specific that very few people had investigated them, yet they were peculiar enough to gain attention. I was rather good at presenting myself in my research, so funding wasn't a problem. I gave lectures at a university and some popular science events, and worked part-time at a private school. I soon found myself having a lot of contacts in university circles and among young intellectuals. I'm just gonna save this real quick. Cool. I married an avid artist specializing in book illustrations who was into goth metal, avant-garde, and not committing to anything or anyone. How'd you get married then? When she was in the mood, she even joined my ventures into the depths of beliefs of people long ago. I even started thinking of a career in writing, but can't be that good, right? I wasn't even going anywhere in particular. Just a car accident when I was driving back from a grocery store. The road was too slippery, I guess. Luckily, my wife was at home and nobody got hurt. Except for me. My body was paralyzed almost entirely. I just opened something. I'll read this, I guess. Ticket to Oblivion. I remember how 7 years ago my mother brought my sister and me a bucket of sweet black cherries. There was the first days of summer, the holidays had just begun, and we celebrated their start with the joy which only children or some dreamers could feel. We ate black cherries, were smeared with juice from top to toe, spat seeds, and then I hung double berries on Maruska's ears and shouted earrings. She did pierce her ears a year later. Her real earrings were gold, heavy, completely different from the dark red shiny berries from childhood, and so it be. I keep this little piece of memories as the last connection with the guys, as we were. They were long gone, of course. Sister hadn't been Maruska for 100 years. She was Maria. 5 minutes to Fucking Christ. This is so much shit. Student of the best university in town. Me, well, I'm the captain of the White Hound's intergalactic fleet, the winner of the battle of the... What? The geek is in Star Wars... I'm having like an aneurysm here. This geek is stuck in his Star Wars again. He is also me. How much longer can you sit on your mother's neck? He's a shame of the family, grief and so on. Only the sister does turn the air blue. She only looks with her sad eyes in silence. However, it does not matter now. Soon all offensive words will cease to matter to me. I do not remember how long ago it started. Probably began at the Olympiad in which Maisha took first place, and I, sitting with a pen in my hands in front of the blank form, suddenly realized with agonizing clarity, it is about time that we solve all this mess. We will be praised for it. It will be given some papers and maybe some books, and that's it. A better chance to make... I can't read this whole fucking thing. Let me just skim it. A more decent goal can never be achieved. 7th grade, the more I realize the world I live in is unbearably boring. Anything I just black cherries, day, summer, and books in which you forget yourself, fantasize about unknown distant lands. Fuck me. So, this dude is reminiscing about his childhood. Mom said in general that I was trying to justify my own laziness. I bought black cherries only for my sister. Tried to share with me, but I refused. She tried to understand me, I did not answer. I sat in front of the luminous screen and looked at the screensaver of a recently released online game. The cosmos that was staring at me from the screen seemed to be the solution to all problems. A ticket to oblivion. The opportunity to get away from the gray, boring, unbearable, ordinary world. Go to the place of great victories and inconceivable discoveries. Moreover, what difference does it make that the picture before the eyes is not real? If reality does not bring joy, why not replace it with something else? I created an account and started playing. That evening, my sister was not home. She rolled off to a competition in another city. It happened 4 years ago. Oh, Jesus Christ. I had my head in the clouds even during matches. Other guild members asked what wrong. Laughed it off, trying to sound agitation. Take him, after all, he's changed. 3 years of gaming seclusion was not in vain at first. I enjoyed my own success at the computer, days and nights, sincerely. Made the right choice. The longer I lived the game, the more clearly I understood it was not enough for me. Space behind the monitor screen will never be enough to quench all my thirst. Contacted me when I had almost abandoned all hope. We got in touch and I was offered to become part of the world, which I managed to get used to, and which I managed to love. Like a real thing. Turned out a couple of my team members had already done it. How can I refuse? I answered yes, then I received my envelope, my SIM card, my second... Hello? Real one, ticket to oblivion, and only my mother, who was left behind, who did not understand a word of what I said, my sister as well. Ran into the kitchen and ate a saucer of sweet black cherries. Last time I almost did not feel the taste of berries. So here I am. It is only left for me to turn on the phone and the dream will come true. Come always what I want to be and leave this incredibly boring world forever. I only need to take the— what? Where's the phone? It was there a second ago. I remember I did not even have time to get scared when a familiar trill rang out from behind the wall from the next room, Maisha's room. How? What for? Why did she need my smartphone? Lifeless, mechanical, not at all like my sister's. Seems she spoke on the phone. It seemed like she was talking to an enrollment board or something. Seems like that side nobody was concerned about the peculiarities of the voice. Stood out. Fucking my neighbors. I stood outside of her room, feeling my heart's loud pumping and not daring to enter. And when she finished speaking, I clearly heard a prolonged sigh of a deadly tired man, the sound of a phone falling on the floor, the creak of a sofa being weighted by someone's body. The sister at the door sighed once more and pronounced slowly in a singing fashion, "All of this is so unbearably boring." My body was almost paralyzed entirely. I could not move until only I could. I could move only my left hand on my head. It was a nightmare. I couldn't live the way I used to. The simple act of going from one place to another became more difficult. I don't want to click on anything else on the screen. Fuck. What was that? I couldn't live the way I used to. The simple act of going from one place to another became difficult. What's worse, my wife refused to let me go and was taking care of me. I found it cute considering her usual traits, but I was frustrated to see her wasting her life because of me. I stopped visiting friends and parties and almost stopped giving lectures. Even doing my research became difficult. I was thinking about ending it all, but my family was rather religious, so I just couldn't. Maybe it's a mere excuse for my cowardice. Either way, I needed something to occupy my time, to distract me. My wife hid all the alcohol, never mind the drugs. I tried reading books and watching movies, but it wasn't enough. Can I just save? Yes. The thoughts were still here, haunting me, always there, whispering in my ear. I pressed on, though. What else could I do? Then one day, after dozens of bleak flicks with cut-and-paste stories, I finally watched a movie that I really liked. I can't remember its name now, but back then I was in awe. I went to the OMBD to find some info and I found out the movies universally hated. I checked the reviews to see what people disliked. I started looking through them. False expectations, misunderstandings. It says click here now. Ignorance, presenting subjects' opinions as objective truths, nothing new. One review really got me. This person wasn't just ignorant, they were aggressively ignorant and spiteful. I was so outraged that I went ahead and wrote a comment in an expressive manner, explaining why they're wrong. I was only able to type with one hand, but it actually helped. I had more time to think about what I was writing. They replied quickly. Obviously, they didn't want to agree. I spent the next several hours arguing online, and it was great. There was nothing in my world aside from me, my argument, and my opponents. Keep trying to click on shit. One or two people who also commented on the review and apparently were subscribed to comments joined in. I was finally passionate about something and no longer wanted to die. Is this the X? Of course, it meant that I was arguing with strangers online, an act that I would have deemed pathetic not too long ago. But I didn't have much choice anymore. The next day I created several throwaway accounts, set up a VPN, and dived into this relentless world. It was fun. Since the people participating in such things are quite peculiar, sometimes I got almost scientifically interested in their reasoning and possibly diagnosing their mental illness. There were people like me too, restless, almost always online. I met some of them in different places around the net. Eventually I formed some vague semblance of friendship with them. Then one day, way after midnight, one of them made me an offer. Oh, this is the X. Would you be interested in leaving your mortal body and transcending onto the net? Sounded like some cult nonsense, but sure, I'll bite. My pride was long gone, and I was curious. I wanted to know more. Ugh. Definitely felt like the cultist ramblings. I hate this shit. Some mighty interdimensional beings exist in our world, but only in digital form. It's like they're projections of themselves into our world from theirs, or shadows, or distorted copies. They feed on human emotion. These beings want to consume the strong feelings poured into the net, so the cultist people who were digitized by these creatures help them find newcomers, people who pour a lot of emotions into the internet. In exchange for producing food for them 24/7, they gain immortality and the power to control many things on the net. However, the elusive home world of these beings is still out of reach even for their followers. Not even a glimpse for humans. It sounded like nonsense, but for some reason I was ready to believe it. The story reminded me of an incident that occurred when I worked at a private school. I was going back from work. A girl who worked there as a teacher was sitting on the stairs seemingly distressed. She was mumbling something about digital people trying to ruin her and so on. When I asked her what happened, she said she was fired because of her ex joining some sort of cult. I thought she was high or something. She looked like someone who would do that at work. Purple hair, torn jeans, you know. That's not justification for assuming someone's on drugs. I hate my rice cooker up there. It's Fucking, I'm tripping. So I said something encouraging and walked away. She didn't care, but when I heard about the cults, things started to make sense. At least I understood how far it reached. When I asked, so what do I need to do, the answer was quite peculiar. You need to get rid of your mortal body. We can send you a SIM card to speed up the process. It receives data from the stations controlled by us, and this type of data makes the transition faster. Your mortal body will partially dissolve during this process. Aha, dissolving. When the ascension is complete, your atrophied corpse will remain in this world. I was hesitant to believe that, but curious indeed. Remembering that story with my colleague sure made it more intriguing. I was willing to check it out. Okay, I'm in. Can you deliver the SIM card to my house discreetly? I'll arrange something. Just give me your address and date. I provided my address and set the delivery for a week later. I'm still ashamed I shared such information so easily. I was consenting to anything that could happen, but I forgot that my wife lives here too. The fuck, bro? They could just barge in and bad things could happen. I panicked at first trying to edit or delete the message, but I forgot that things don't disappear from the net so easily. There was no edit button, and deleting the messages would erase it from my history, but not theirs. It was the first time I truly panicked since the accident. Strangely enough, my limited ability to move or act hastily helped me calm down rather easily. I thought my limitations would fuel the panic, but no, maybe I was getting used to it. I persuaded a friend of mine in another country to call my wife away to some kind of important art event for a few weeks. It was pretty big deal in the art world. It was difficult, but I managed to persuade her to leave me here. I had to agree to have a caretaker, though. She insisted the caretaker should be a man, too. I like to think she was still jealous, which is cute, considering my circumstances. The caretaker was rather nice. He looked like he could fight in a possible home invasion, or at least I hoped he could. So my wife packed her things and left. Nothing peculiar happened until the package arrived at the promised time. I told the caretaker that I ordered some stuff from my phone. He didn't ask any questions. Believe in the net. When he left the room, I unpacked it. Strangely enough, it was packed in a way that would be easy for me to open. I didn't tell them anything about my condition. In the small box was an envelope. Believe in the net. Installed the SIM card. They promised the Ascension will pass without any struggle for you. I don't know what they meant or what I expected, but it was strange. The mobile network said eFoodNet, but at first nothing changed. Even when my body started to dissolve, I felt nothing, both physically and mentally. I mean, of course I freaked out at first, seeing lines of my body blurring, but as soon as I found myself worrying more about how I'd hide it for the caretaker. Should I hide in my room faking a depressive episode? Should I give him sleeping pills? Ask those guys to lure him away, faking accident with someone in his family. I decided to task those cultists with luring him away, and I calmed down completely. Yeah. The fact that I was so indifferent actually bothered me. It was the out-of-ordinary experience I always dreamt of, and yet, until this day, I wondered, maybe I died in that car crash. Maybe everything after that was just a fever dream. Or an endless vision of the afterlife. Maybe you, to whom I tell these stories, don't even exist. I guess I'll never know. They got the caretaker to leave due to some family circumstances. Honestly, I didn't want to know what they arranged. In 2 days, my body changed drastically, and my vision became blurry, like a dark fog appearing before my eyes. It got thicker and thicker, and eventually covered my eyes entirely. Last thing I saw was the computer screen through the fog. Oh, what a beautiful farewell to the mortal world. The new world was not what I was expecting. I retained my consciousness, memories, and personality seemingly without any changes. But I was data now, and I could only perceive other data and traverse from server to server. I had the ability to control anything on the internet. At first I was in awe. Everything they told me was true. I declined my weak, almost non-functional human body and became something more powerful. Ascending to the new realm where powerful beings dwell among the undying flow of information. I could perceive data faster than any human. Finally free, able to travel as fast as electricity, and a whole new world full of strange and unusual things for me to investigate. With being akin to gods lurking somewhere in the endless ocean of data. Sometimes I felt them passing by on the same servers as me. A strong, weary presence. To this day, I don't know how I could feel a presence in the digital world. I was just a bunch of numbers, and yet I could. Maybe it's because of my soul. Maybe a soul can be digitized too. Maybe it's the immortality of the soul we were promised by ancient prophets. I know this is a long episode. Because I saved and then that episode ended, and then, I'm trying to just do this. But data can be deleted. Does that mean that both souls and gods can be destroyed then. Actually feeling the presence wasn't the only proof of my soul being here that I got on my first day of my new life. Soon after getting used to this world, I started stalking my wife. All those powers, all those mysteries, and I was just following her life. Reading all her messages and posts, watching all the cameras that spotted her. On her laptop, on her phone, on the street, in cafes, in the dressing rooms and bathrooms. There are cameras in the fucking gross. Yeah, those places have more cameras than you think. Yeah, thanks for that. The things I learned. I didn't like them. She tried to sue that poor guy, the caretaker, but to no avail. My body was obviously exhausted. I've been really skinny for the past months because of the medication and stress. Police didn't find anything suspicious about my death. Just some person who should have died a long time ago and finally left this world. I even read such messages in her history. I certainly couldn't argue with that. I watched her go through all the stages, watched her ditch work and social relations, trying to commit suicide, then spending most of her remaining money on therapists and medication, trying to get back to work but mostly failing. I wanted to stay away but not get involved. It wasn't my world anymore, but at some point the growing, howling mass inside my soul became so big I had to act. I added several sizable sums to her account, masked as compensations for old troublesome projects I remembered, and sent the word sorry from a newly created throwaway account. After that, I decided to leave all of it behind and try to live a new immortal life. I started my search for the gods. I wanted to understand at least some small part of them, to know why they evoke such deep feelings in me, such awe and fear at the same time. Why are they so powerful? Why did they share their power with me? Is it only to give them food, or is it something more? I started asking around. Most people here were busy with the same stuff they did online while they were still alive, consuming media, arguing about it, spying on the lives of others, arguing, stuff like that for the most part. But then I saw something that I couldn't understand at first. I saw one person's data dissolving, being erased, along with many others on the server. Most of them in the same part of the server as dissolving data. I found a person idling in another part of the server and asked him, "What's happening?" They're devouring them. It's happening more and more frequently now. What does that mean? They collectively devoured data of people that did something against the cult, like merging their data together. Usually they send the remains to a remote server and format it afterwards. Rather long procedure, to be honest. Probably takes so long because it's not a power that they could extract from the source, unlike controlling the net. You're new here, huh? Everything we have is because of some guy who managed to find those beings on the internet, copy their code, and partially reverse engineer it. He digitized himself with the new power and started inviting other people to join him. Wait a minute, so you're saying those interdimensional beings have no part in the ascension? Pretty much. They just exist here and wander these lands. Why was I told about giving them food? Oh, the guy found out that they grow on servers where people argue emotionally. They like that and tend to gravitate to such places. I don't know, though, how we went from that to this cult thing we have now. They don't ask for anything. They just don't communicate with us at all. Or interact in any other way. Oh, that's disappointing. I want to put my leg out, but I'm not. Ugh. How do you know so much anyway? Don't know, I've been here for a long time, possibly over 20 years. Some parts of my memory are corrupted or formatted. Then you could be the source guy? I mean, yes. But I'm more interested in other facts about me. What could be more interesting than discovering you created this new society? Looks like parts of my memory are deleted by me. It's possible? Yes, you can author your own code. It's easy. Never thought of that. You're considering deleting your memories? Yes. Then could you answer me one question? Sure. What makes you want to delete your memories? I was short-sighted and my egotism led to the suffering of a person dear to me. I could have stopped, but I went all the way. I want to forget what I've done and all the happy memories I made with her. The happiness of the past has become nothing but pain. I see. Guilt. Quite understandable. Thanks. I remained there, watching the data being consumed for a while longer. After some time, the person asked, "So will you do it?" Do what? Delete your memory? Probably not. Why? Remembering is punishment for me. I see. Don't be so hard on yourself. I didn't answer. Thanks for speaking with me. It was rather enlightening. No problem. You helped me too. Glad to know. Maybe we'll meet again. See you. I finally left the server. It was an important moment for me. I clung to the idea of understanding those creatures. I believed in everything those guys said to me since I became a digital being and saw gods. I should stick to my own research. I want to kill myself. I hate this. As was during my career, but things didn't work out. I managed to copy and paste parts of their code. I got that far. However, I couldn't do anything with it. I didn't even know how to approach it or where to start. It was gibberish to me. I tried inserting that code into my own, to no avail. Nothing. Had changed who I am. It was now useless. I was now useless at investigating anything, even though that earned me some fame in the human world. That feeling of desperation would eventually lead me to my self-destruction. One day I followed one of the gods. I'm going to save this here, because this is a lot. So, thank you guys so much for watching. This is some shit. I know it's a very long episode, but this is some shit. So I will continue this in another episode. I'm afraid. But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. That was my wrist. Okay. If you like this video, leave a like. If you'd like to see more, hit subscribe. I am sleepy. I'm blah. But I love you guys. Stay awesome. Bye.